The time is just gone 8:32 a.m. right here on News and Views this morning. And we are now focusing on mental health. We are talking about the first mental health summit. And the question is mentally and just looking at the well-being of the mental health of people in South Africa for many, many reasons. This country is under severe pressure, both from an economic point of view, the state of joblessness. We've come through the COVID era, ESCOM, load shedding. There's just so much that is playing out in the country, and all of this has an impact on the mental well-being of people. And this is the first mental health summit that is taking place. And this morning we are joined by Professor Olive Shisana, Honorary Professor at UCT and Conference Chair at the South African Mental Health Conference. Professor Olive Shisana, good morning to you, ma'am, and welcome to the show.
Morning, and good morning to the listeners. Hello.
Hello, yes, okay, I can hear you now, Prof. Good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and good morning to the listeners.
Yes, this first mental health summit that is taking place, it's an important summit, and for some of the reasons that I have mentioned, South Africa, the mental well-being of the country and the people and its people, these are valid concerns that we are having. How serious is the question of mental health in South Africa?
Health is a huge problem in our country. Unfortunately, it's an unrecognized, crisis that we have in terms of mental health in our country. If you look at how big the problem is, you will find that we have experienced a lot of post-traumatic stress disorders, which essentially the ranges are between 21% and 24.5%. It's coupled with anxiety disorders, it's coupled with eating disorders, and it's also coupled with ADHD, attention deficit disorder. Now, we also know that about 30% of the population of South Africa has got one form of mental illness or another.
Yes. Now, just coming to the summit, and this is going to be the first mental health summit, and looking at the key areas of focus, and what are some of the key areas going to be, or what are some of the critical issues that this conference will be focusing on, Prof?
Well, we looked at the policies that we have. We looked at the question of implementation. We dealt with the issues of life as a demanding. And we also looked at the issues of workforce. In terms of the health workforce, do we have enough people to be able to provide the care when people actually need it? We also looked at the question of stigma that we have as a society against people that have mental illness. And then we also look at the financing, of mental health services. And we are concerned that the financing is not adequate to be able to address the challenges that the country has in terms of mental illness.
Yes. Now, you speak about policies, and clearly the government needs to take responsibility, and at the same time, they need to address these issues extremely seriously for the mental well-being of the citizens and the pressures that I have actually spoken about, where people's day-to-day living is being impacted, is being affected in more ways than one. And just load shedding, ESCOM, the state of joblessness, economy, all of this is having an impact. And, you speak of a percentage of 30%, but it's a scary thought that if this trend continues, this stat could actually, go much higher. And we could be in a state where the country generally will find that people are going to be in a serious mental situation, having these problems or having to live with these problems on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, but remember that mental illness is really due to a whole range of factors, some of which you have included. The question of poverty with its financial stress plays a critical role. Unemployment, increasing inequality, HIV and AIDS, COVID-19, political and social upheaval in the country that we have seen currently as well as historical, all of those things do play a critical role. What we need to be doing as a society is to work collectively, professionals, government, civil society, religious organizations, and all individuals ought to all work together to address the issue of mental health, just like we did with HIV. When HIV came, we all pulled everyone together to make sure that we had one plan and we all were working towards one plan. And the government has a national mental health policy framework and strategic plan, and they've just revised it and they are in the process of consulting on it. We all have to rally around it, improve upon it to make sure that we all can be able to address this problem of mental health collectively.
Yes. Now, just very, I know you are in a rush and you've got to get into a meeting, Prof. Just finally, looking at this conference in terms of when is this conference taking place, and just looking at some of the major players as far as this conference is concerned. What is it, in what format, and some of the key people who will be at this conference or addressing this conference. Who are they going to be?
Well, we had the first plenary session was addressed by Simphiwe Dana, who was able to share her own experience of dealing with depression. We had a Minister of Health who came in to tell us about, the program. And we also had Professor Rita Tom, who looked at the health workforce to see that we can improve the mental health. And then we had Christine Kumalo, who spoke very passionately about, life epidemic. And then we had breakaway sessions, and where people looked at the issues of mental health and traditional healing, as well as psychotic disorders. We looked at also technology and innovation in way in which it could contribute towards improving healthcare and implementing technology into pathways so that we can enable care. We looked at policy and public health, and that was really a very good session that dealt with issues of suicide, and it shocked us in terms of the rate of suicides or suicidal ideas, particularly among young people. It is a really, really scary thing when they actually do screening and they notice that. But later on, we are going to have the Deputy President close the conference, and he will be able to give the nation a glimpse of what it is that we need to be doing in order to deal with mental health collectively as a society.
Well, Professor, thank you very much for that update, and also for unpacking some of the issues that have already arisen in this conference. And we just trust and hope that something good comes out of it, because, as we mentioned, this is a serious problem in this country at this point in time and needs to be addressed, and with a sense of urgency. But for now, we thank you for your time. I know you are in a rush, but we do appreciate you've taken these last few minutes to be with us in the company of Salam Media this morning.
Thank you very much.
Professor Olaf Shisana with us this morning, and South Africa's first mental health conference, a summit that has taken place, and she is the honorary professor at UCT and also the conference chair at the SA Mental Health Conference. The time is just gone 8:41. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back. Stay with us.